mikin sonke amin kenana. Abasi adong me angelesi elikong. First angels came and two one and two good and two give them and two me more and two father. I feel alright.
I'm here with Linda Booth at the Eco Shop in Cardigan. And Linda, I wanted to ask you, why did you want to send clothes out to Nigeria?
Well, I was absolutely delighted when Golden approached us. What she's doing is fills in a wish that I've had for quite a long time. If I've got time to, I'd like to talk a little bit about my passion and why she's part of a jigsaw puzzle that I would very much like to see assembled. My passion is encouraging people to change the way they deal with clothing. We have, over the last 50 years, we've developed a fast fashion industry globally, which damages the environment and exploits the workers who make the clothes and grow the materials. There has been a little bit of a waking up since the Rana Plaza disaster, where a factory collapsed in Bangladesh, but it's still fairly token. So basically, tons and tons and tons of clothes are made very cheaply by people who very often can't afford to eat and pay rent at the same time, using a lot of water to produce something like the denim for a pair of jeans. And then they're brought over here and taken to the US, worn a few times typically, and then they're no longer wanted. The no longer wanted part of it is the bit that I'm really passionate about. There are quite a lot of organisations already trying to raise awareness around the supply end, the best of which is probably the Fashion Revolution, who've got some really interesting things on their website. But the other end, before I started sorting here, which is about 3.5 years ago, I actually still had the sanguine belief that if I were to just take the things I no longer wear and take them to a charity shop, that I'd done something good and that everything would get used one way or another. What I found out doing the sorting really rather was a bit of a wake-up call, because less than half of what gets donated to us can actually be sold in the form that we get it. We don't have the resources to wash anything. Well, we do wash the odd really nice thing, but fundamentally if it comes in smelling like it's been in somebody's shed or of tobacco smoke, or it's torn, we haven't got the resources to do anything with that. And also, you know, although, I mean, this is our 50p rail and this is like the last chance saloon. If these things don't sell, they also will have to go. And they do a sort now. Okay, so what happens then is that we sell on to a rag dealer. Now, rag dealers sort again, and typically up until now, anything that's actually wearable has been sent out either to Africa, particularly East Africa, and to Eastern Europe to an extent as well. That's now dying out. There are 5 East African countries, led I think by Zimbabwe, that are saying that they don't want to do that anymore. Okay, I think we've got about a year on it. So we've got these huge mounds of clothing. We send approximately 750,000 tonnes of clothes just simply down into landfill every year. And we don't have anything much. There is a certain amount that's done with kind of like industrial rags, you know, like for a garage, that kind of thing, which is done here. But any actual reprocessing, like making stuffing and padding and all the things that are done with rags, are actually done elsewhere. So we haven't. So there's an amazing amount of shipping goes on, things being moved around, and it needs to change. Okay, so for me, anything really to do with environmental damage has 2 prongs to it. One of them is reducing the oversupply in the first place, which doesn't really concern Golden's part of the jigsaw, but basically people need to learn to buy fewer garments, buy better quality, buy fair trade, something locally made or upcycled, buy pre-used, learn how to repair, to upcycle themselves. There are a load of things that individuals can do, which will slowly reduce the amount of stuff that's actually produced. And it needs to be slowly, because there are people in Bangladesh and Indonesia and China and lots of other places who would actually lose the meagre earnings that they have if we made a sudden boycott change. It wouldn't work, it would be really cruel. Okay? But in terms of disposal, there are a load of things that can happen. And one of the things, my wish, was that I could find either something like an African women's cooperative who wanted to take on clothes and either upcycle them, which I gather is happening somewhere, which is rather lovely. Because I don't know which country it is, but there's a group of women upcycling European clothes and selling them back to us as upcycled. It was absolutely wonderful. But or somebody like Golden, who could actually directly get clothes to people who really, really need them. Because what happens with the second-hand clothes trade in Africa is Oxfam have got it fairly together. They actually do something that benefits people on the other end. But a lot of the time, it's quite large market owners who buy the clothes and sell them on. And while the very poorest can then get something to wear who might not otherwise, it also inhibits local kind of clothing producers, which is why East Africa is starting to back off. So somebody who can actually do it directly, like Golden, is perfect. It's wonderful. So I know this is going into a video for your fundraiser, so I would really urge people to get behind Golden and help her with the costs of making this shipment and hopefully further shipments. And maybe we can even start sending clothes to children in neighbouring villages, because we get given loads and loads and loads of children's clothes. There's a culture growing up in probably about the last 30 years where a lot of people don't pass clothes along when their children have outgrown them. They want new all the time. So we get given loads, and we don't actually sell all that many, not as many as you'd think. So yeah, this is just really, really great. And please, please give her all the support you can.
Thank you very much, Linda. That's great.
First angels came and took on and took on and took them and took me board and to Father, I feel alright. First angels came and took on and took on and took them and took me board and to Father, I feel alright. Ide mikin sonke amin kenana abasi adong me angele siye ele kong mi uro